and welcome. Today we are joined by Heléne Smuts, who is the CEO and founding partner of Credo Growth. Welcome, Heléne.
Thank you. Thanks very much for chatting to me. It's good to be here. Well, online in any case.
Yes, yes, it's lovely to have you in our studio, our little virtual studio. So I know that you work a lot with women entrepreneurs, and you're a woman entrepreneur yourself. You're such a busy lady, and I just wanted to know what is a common challenge that you see female entrepreneurs experiencing, and what's a piece of advice that you would give to them
Yeah,
to overcome it?
sure. I think if I can almost speak from a leadership perspective, is I think what we often see and have to work with when we work with female entrepreneurs is that whole idea of the assumption of I need to balance assertiveness with being liked and being seen as respectful and nice and kind. So that's quite a fine line, and I think so many people in general, not just women entrepreneurs, but especially on the female side, is how am I stepping into the power of having that assertiveness and the ability to say what I want because it's my business and it's my strategy, and not being seen as overbearing or over domineering. And I think what we also see is often that even other females in an organization can sometimes be a little bit nasty around that and go, oh, she's trying to put her foot down. And it's dual. It's the one idea of how can I be assertive and all those other things. And then the people in the businesses sometimes having a bit of a not a very kind outlook towards female leaders. It's getting a lot better, I have to say. Like the work that we do, and when we see these things changing, it's amazing. But there are still areas in business where we see people are struggling. And I think you asked what advice do I have, and I think it's not trying to lead from what you think other people want you to lead from. It's about identifying your own style and molding that and stepping into the power of who you are as a leader. And of course, being very aware of your blind spots and your weak areas. And rather than work with people to supplement that and for yourself to also work on it. But trying to be an entrepreneur style or a leadership style that is not authentically you, I think makes it a lot harder for a lot of females.
Yes. And I think maybe you touch on this a little bit in your book called Ditching Mediocrity. Because I'm sure when you have to ditch mediocrity, you have to step into your authentic
Yes.
self. Um,
And you have to be
tell us a
honest
little bit
with
more
yourself.
about, yes. So tell us a little bit more about the book. What really led you to decide to write
Yeah.
it, and what's a funny or memorable moment in your life that you thought, yes, I'm ditching mediocrity now.
Um, so the book came about because of the work that I now have a beautiful and amazing team. So because of the work that we do, back then it was what I did. I was on my own then. Um, what I wanted to do, and I was challenged by one of my mentors to do this, is to not keep the information for myself, and to really put 12 tools together, 12 of the tools that I think is easiest to implement on your own, where you don't need necessarily a facilitator to come into the room and help you with the team. But it's 12 easy to implement tools that you as a leader or entrepreneur can do to implement within your business to increase performance, and to also make sure that teams work really well together. So it was really that kind of putting or giving people access to practical tools. That was kind of the main reason for it. They We also have an online course that is called Ditch Mediocrity, where you can actually on an online version go through the book. But yeah, and it stemmed the name stemmed from I was in a business where I had an incredible team and amazing shareholders and partners, but there was one partner that I really struggled with, and I always had an issue with his performance, and he had an issue with me, whether it's because I was female or quite a overpowering personality. I don't know, but that's where it stems from. I don't want that mediocrity ever again. And I want to work with people that doesn't settle for mediocrity, that is willing to push and go harder, even if it's challenging. So that's kind of where the title of the book came from. So it was really about putting effort in to be better than what you are, or to get your team to be better what you are than what they are, or to get the business to get better than to be better than what the business is. Um, and it's also not to push towards burnout and all of those things, but it's to push forward in a way that makes sense for people. I don't know if that explains it to you.
Yes, that makes so much
Mm.
sense. And I love that you say as well that we're not pushing towards burnout.
Yeah,
We're not pushing towards reaching some sort of
yeah,
perfectionistic, idealistic, goal that is really tough to reach or, comes at a cost. But I really appreciate that. And I think that that's really what a lot of women who want to come to Women in Festival want to
yeah,
experience is, how can I step into myself and, step into myself as a leader or, whatever sort of field that they're in. And be true to myself but still reach for the
yeah.
best, and I think that's also why people really want to listen to you, and so I'm interested to know then, what do you hope that women attending Women in Festival will take away from your session?
Um, so yeah, it's going to be interesting the conversations because I'm on a panel with an amazing group of people, but I can't necessarily dictate what's going to the questions that are going to be asked. But I think, and you've mentioned it, the message that I really would like to get across is take the leap and lead well. I think a lot of us, and me included, we start leading, and it's almost like we're feeling guilty for being in a leadership position. And oh, I'm now in this leadership position, and I need to do it well, and I need to make sure that I look after this person, look after this person's feelings, not get angry, not get upset. It's kind of own it. If you are leading, own the leadership role. Yes, admit your mistakes when when you flare up or when you have a moment, and learn from those things. But it's step in. I call it step into your power, whatever that might be for you, and then own it and realize what your bad days look like, and work on those so that when it happens again, that your bad day can get a little bit more subtle. But it's not about feeling guilty for having being in a leadership or an entrepreneurial position, but rather owning it and enjoying it, because it is tricky to lead people. There's nothing easy about that. Um, so yeah, I guess that's my thing: is step into your power and own it, and then also enjoy the journey natuurlijk. That's my Afrikaans coming out
And
natuurlijk.
love that. Well, we're gonna be a multicultural festival anyway, so I'm glad that you're showing
Yeah.
off that we're going to be a great inclusive space at the Women in Festival. But lastly, I just want you to tell our viewers, why should they be at the Women in Festival?
I think, I mean, just looking from the lineup and all the topics and things like that, I do think it's an opportunity for people, first of all, this is a big thing for people, realizing I'm not alone. There's so many other people, and not just females. I'm talking about from all walks of life, male, female, different cultures, like you have just said, that you can learn from, and that you can potentially even change your own perspective. And I think that for me is big, is to realize I've always thought about it this way, and I've just heard someone speak, or I've been chatting to someone while having a coffee conversation around how they see entrepreneurship or leadership. And it's that for me is such an amazing experience when you have so many different cultures and people together, that you are learning about different ways of looking at things. Um, so that for me is quite an important part, and of course the networking, meeting incredible people. But yeah, it's almost for me a little bit around how can I change my perspective, or check in what my perspective is versus how others are perceiving things, and how can I shift my things around.
Well, I think that we just have so much to learn from you, Helene, at the upcoming festival about stepping into our power.
Oh,
I'm really excited to hear from you. And yeah, to our viewers who are watching, you can join Helene and myself at the upcoming Women in Festival from the 14th to the 15th of November in the Silo district of Cape Town. we look forward to seeing you and seeing how we can empower ourselves and empower each other. See
Amazing.
you there.
See you there. Thank you.